Hey, what's up guys? John here. The Biden administration has now allocated $35 billion to office to residential conversions throughout every city in America.
Two big problems facing America's cities: the housing crunch and office buildings sitting empty due to work from home trends.
This is greatly going to change property values. It's going to change the way in which we live, how we live. This is all happening right now at the period which commercial real estate is about to get obliterated. You're already seeing some of the biggest real estate deals, 50, 100 million, 200 million, $500 million deals going into foreclosure due to what's happening now with this work from home situation. Well, I'm going to show you what the future is going to look like in America with verifiable facts. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube is going to share this content to educate the people about what's really going on. And today's video is sponsored by Zuper, but more on that in just a little bit. Take a look at this. So Biden has $35 billion in financing for new guidance on office to residential conversions. He came out today, Whitehouse.gov. Commercial to residential conversions addressing office vacancies. Now, there's a lot of situations happening right now, one of which is the high cost of labor, the high cost of construction. So doing these office to residential conversions will allow affordable housing. It will allow cheaper developments of units. And that's what we're walking into. Very, very, very inexpensive cost to do this in relation to what it would cost to build a new structure. And many people would say, John, the cost to converting office is too expensive. This is what the cost is right now in California for just one affordable housing unit. $757,000 was the price before. To now it's $938,000. So give it 800 grand to build a unit, to build one house, one affordable housing unit. So when you're buying these properties for pennies on the dollar, which is essentially what they're going to be able to do, you're going to be able to build up these units for a fraction of that cost, especially if zoning laws and everything's going to change. And that's what it looks like is happening right now. Businesses dealing with field operations need software to successfully manage their workflows. This is what Zuper can help you with. Zuper is the most powerful field service management solution available today for fast-growing service organizations. It combines flexible and customizable workflows, reporting and analytics, and other useful features. Zuper's mission is to empower every field service professional with technology to be the best in their area of expertise. Take a look at the interface of Zuper on the screen. It's intuitive and user-friendly. There's a lot of features that are really helpful in everyday workflows. You can assign tasks to workers, and there's a calendar on the screen for scheduling and dispatching. You can store your customers' data and information, which might be very useful to keep it in one place. And whenever you need to contact someone or invoice someone, you can do it inside of Zuper. Besides, there's many other features that you can tell were thought through. For example, a map where you can take a look at your employees and your customers. Parts and services, track for your field operations, even report generation feature. I could go on talking about Zuper, but it'll be better if you tried it for yourself. If you're a field service professional, it will definitely help you eliminate paperwork and automate your processes. Click the link in the description below this video to schedule a demo with Zuper.co. Your clients deserve the best service, and so do you. They go on to say that policymakers in cities in DC, New York, San Francisco are taking actions to revitalize their downtowns through commercial to residential conversions, including vacant offices, hotels, and other non-office commercial spaces. Proponents of the policies see them as an opportunity both to revitalize vacant real estate and address long-run supply shortage, which is plaguing U.S. housing market and contributing to decreased housing affordability. As of 2020, the market was short 3.8 million housing units. Rental vacancy rates have been in the last 4 years the lowest they've been since the 1980s. Most recently, 6.3% of Q2 2023, and in 2021, 45%. But they go on to say that this could actually solve this problem. They say these conversions will represent an opportunity to combat climate. Buildings account for 29% of greenhouse gas emissions, and estimates say rehabilitated structures can produce 50 to 75% fewer emissions than new construction. So what does this mean? It means this is what's going to happen. They're going full force on this. Now, some people might say this is a good thing. Some may say it's a bad thing. There's a couple ways to look at this. So first, this building right here. The health and banks, and this is a great example, the health and banks of cities and the nation's economies could hinge on high-stakes negotiations over commercial real estate loans. So you start to look at these deals. Brookfield, $784 million in loans connected to office towers, defaulted, right? So they are defaulting. Then you have this, fire sale, San Francisco, $300 million structure, right? This building, by the way, is 300,000 square feet. It is massive. and they said it might sell for 80% less. Well, it closed for $65 million, roughly 75% less than on a per square foot basis than comparable buildings. You start to look at what's going to happen here. It's going to be a bloodbath for many of these landlords and a massive opportunity for real estate developers, real estate investors, because they're going to be able to go in there at a moment in which banks are tightening up funding because of this tsunami that's coming for bad commercial real estate debt, and they're going to be able to go get funding directly from the government, $35 billion in financing. So they're going to be able to go out there, they're going to be able to pick up these deals for pennies on the dollar, and they're going to have the funding and the backing to do it. I mean, they're even offering, in many cases, like for example in Philadelphia, they're offering 10-year property tax abatements. They're offering all these different incentives. So you're going to start seeing a flood of people trying to take advantage of this opportunity. So when you're looking at all these situations, you have to ask yourself, okay, well, what would this look like if you are a current landlord in this market? Well, a really good way to look at this is if you have a massive influx of supply, you're likely going to start to see rents continue to sink, which is what they've said they want to achieve. They said they want rents to come down to make them affordable. Now, many people might say that's a great thing, but take into consideration that with the high cost of insurance, high cost of property taxes, and the high cost to fix and maintain these properties, coupled with record high mortgage debt, what does this mean? It means that many people aren't going to be able to offset these costs, especially commercial properties that have to refinance in the next year or so. So you could see more and more and more problems begin to seep in to a lot of leveraged landlords inside of these cities, which could present even a bigger opportunity for new real estate investors to go out there and pick up these deals. So what are we going to start seeing? We're going to start seeing populations explode in many cities. I'm talking New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco. I mean, look at the numbers that they're projecting. So right now, New York population, 8.468 million, right? This is as of 2021. So call it 8.5 million. They're saying that we're going to basically take it to 9.1 million by 2030, but they go on to say that the population will actually be 24.769 million by 2050. So populations are set to continue to increase dramatically in cities, dramatically. In Los Angeles, they say population right now is 3.849 million. That's 2 years ago, right? So maybe it's 4 million, maybe. So what's population? They're setting it for 2050, 16 million, right? So they're basically, they're forecasting a 5x growth of population inside of Los Angeles. So you start to look at other markets like San Francisco. They say total population right now 815,000, and they are projecting it's going to go to 983,000, right? So about a 15% increase over the next 6 years, and they're saying that it's going to go, about 1.2 million. So it's going to gradually kind of increase San Francisco. So what are we going to likely see here? We're going to see, in my prediction, we're going to start seeing a lot of tenant protections being enforced in a lot of these cities. You're going to start seeing a lot of people being pushed out of the landlord business in a lot of these cities. You're going to see rents continue to likely sink as inventory continues to grow. And you're going to likely see a situation where a lot of investors are going to be able to step in and start picking up all these deals, repurposing them, and selling them back to this city. That's what I think is going to happen. You're going to start seeing a lot of people, buying these deals, facilitating the entire conversion, and then selling it to the city for affordable housing, or selling it to the city or some type of operator. But you're going to start seeing a lot of people making a lot of money in between. It's going to change things. It's going to change things. Because imagine if you live in, let's call it Silver Lake in Los Angeles, really expensive area, beautiful community. But imagine if the population grows dramatically in the nearby area. What's ultimately going to happen? Naturally, as the population grows, incomes will continue to fall. As incomes continue to fall, and you're in this inflationary world, you're likely going to see crime continue to increase. Meaning that a lot of people will probably find Silver Lake less desirable, as an example. The same thing will be true in many areas. As the population continues to expand, if crime continues to follow, that could be a problem for nearby property owners that are concerned about the valuations of the property. But then you could also see a situation where this actually could be a great thing for people that are, just really antsy to get into the real estate market. Because I think you're going to be able to see so many people that, they bought shopping centers in 2020, 2021. They're trying to refinance them. You're going to see people saying, you know what? I'm going to repurpose this shopping center. I'm going to repurpose this old mall. I'm going to repurpose this, specific office building. They're going to be able to go in there and just crush it. Because you think about it, mortgage rates are likely going to continue to rise in the short term, and banks are going to continue to tighten up funding. The only option for many will be to move into this direction with $35 billion in actual financing he has already lined up. This is a start, by the way. The Biden administration is looking to help the real estate industry convert empty office buildings into apartments. The White House has announced the plan to facilitate office to residential conversions, especially near mass transit. The plan centers on freeing up resources and financing to usher projects through bureaucratic and monetary roadblocks. The Department of Transportation is releasing guidance on how a pair of programs of more than $35 billion in combined lending capacity can finance housing projects, including conversions near mass transit. The agency is also making it easier for transit agencies to repurpose properties for development and affordable housing, enabling them to transfer sites to affordable housing developers and local governments at no cost. Exactly what I'm saying. The Department of Housing and Urban Development is updating its guidance on the Community Development Block Grant, which has already allocated $10 billion during Biden's presidency to boost housing supply. The General Services Administration is getting in on the Act 2, expanding in a program that encourages the sale of underused federal properties to housing developers. So a really interesting case study I think we're going to see in about a year or so will be Austin, Texas. It was this market that everyone wanted to be in. Population 987,000. 987,000, 233,000 apartments for rent. They're building 120,000 units right now in the pipeline. They're going to increase supply 53%. Rents are already fallen 7%, 7.5%. A lot of the real estate investors that purchased in these markets purchased at a 5%, 6% return, and sometimes even lower. So if rents drop 7%, that's a problem. Now imagine adding 120,000 units to the pipeline. You can imagine that rents are going to be reflective. Additional supply, reduced demand, prices will continue to fall, meaning that those developers are going to be, and those investors are going to be in very, very, very big trouble. That's why that company, Storybrooke, they're going BK, they're going bankrupt. I mean, $2 billion portfolio in the market. So you start to look at this, you have to ask yourself, will rents soften dramatically in a lot of cities? If I were a betting man, I'd bet on that. I'd bet rents are going to continue to soften. And with that, this massive wealth transfer is going to happen. Again, money's never lost. It's simply transferred from one party to the next. And we're in it right now, the greatest wealth transfer of all time. What do you think about it? Drop below. We'll have a conversation about it. And hit the like button. YouTube will share the content. And if you want more information on Zuper, feel free to click the link in the description just below this video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.